there's nothing else going on. So I'm really in it right now. It's an organic wellness brand. So I've got like body butters, lip balms, bath salts, stuff like that that I've been doing for a while. The new stuff, I was just taking photos of it, so I have it handy here.
Okay.
It's like a smoke in tea blend, is basically what it is. It's like herbal little floral mix in there.
Okay.
So everything in there can be used as a tea. Like if someone wants to drink it like a tea, they can. But also alternatively for people getting off of tobacco or smoking other things, they can put this inside of a raw cone and
Okay.
smoke it that way too, which is how we've sold it before. And I talked with Kyla about that, and she really likes like for hook ideas. She thinks that'll be good because not a lot of people see stuff like that, like smokable herbs and playing around with like steep and smoke and those kind of concepts.
Yeah.
However, I have not done a whole lot of media marketing. Like my social media, I think has like three posts right now. It's very looks like it's bare bones, but it's a couple like really good pictures that I took on there, really aesthetic. Like one's a lavender farm in the background with one of my products that has lavender in it in front of it. Just
Okay.
really nice in the background. I have another one that's like a pineapple lemongrass on a beach picture. So image wise, I have that down. Captions, like reels, verbiage, all that stuff would be really new to me. I'm really only familiar with Instagram for the most part.
Okay.
So all of the social media posting and the marketing side of things is still rather new to me for the most part.
Okay. So you're only on Instagram at the moment with three
I have
pictures.
Facebook too, and I believe I made a TikTok account and a Pinterest when I opened it, but I didn't really focus on that much because she said it's not really where you get a lot of money right now. So I just kind of have those accounts sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really only posted on Instagram and Facebook because I can cross post there.
Okay. And so those are the only platforms. There's no Pinterest or anything of that sort.
So I have the Pinterest account, but I haven't posted anything on it. So it's just kind of sitting dormant.
Okay. And the how are you getting sales at the moment?
So it's mostly local sales right now. Like I
Okay.
just did a pop up market as a vendor over here, and I was trying to get into local farmers markets, but it's kind of a weird time of year because a lot of them are already established or have all their vendors already full. So
Okay.
a lot of it's just pop up events right now. So it'd be friends, family, and people I get to network with through the vendor events and want to buy.
Okay. And how often are you going to those pop-up events?
So I did my first one early, like May 2nd, and then I think I have another one coming up May 30th that I was able to get into because it's by the same people, so I was able to get in that way through good reputation.
Okay.
Then there was another one I was going to apply to today, but that's in November, so I'm just really just kind of cold calling with that at this point and just seeing where I can get in at. So it's
Okay.
not the most consistent.
But you're limited to the amount of events that you can go to locally.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not even twice a month. It's maybe even like four times a year at this point.
For right now, yeah, but that's just because it's new. So I'm still kind of finding my footing with that. If I can get into more, great, but I'm just kind of getting in wherever I can get a slot at this point.
Okay. No, no sweat then. So then, any website sales, any online orders that you get, or
Yes, but it's from people I've met at the vendor market or I've met in person or like someone at the gym who's I've talked about my business with, and then they'll put an order in online. So it's still word of mouth for marketing side of things.
okay, no. Well, all of that's important. Word of mouth. So perfect. So then, same people. Okay. And the people that buy from the pop up booths that then purchase from the website, how many of those people continue to buy from you?
That's the kind of we'll see thing as time goes on. I've got one girl but she's almost like a friend at this point I met at the event, but she's continuously buying on there right now.
Okay.
As far as everybody else, it'll be like I had one person who I set up a subscription because they were buying monthly and then they had financial issues. They couldn't afford anything kind of additional at that point. So then they stopped buying. So it's really just the one girl right now, honestly, for continuous
Okay.
uh,
But
sales.
even if it's the one girl, what's the relationship? Is that someone you met at the pop ups or is that a close friend of
Yeah,
yours?
it was someone I just met at the pop up, and we ended up talking, and then we ended up like getting each other's number and like talking on the phone for hours after that point too. Just happened to have a lot in common as far as life goes, and she even makes some products herself too, but doesn't have the time to really be doing that. So she's grateful as a nurse to be able to like buy my products for the quality and
Yeah.
not have to take time away from work to make them herself.
Okay. So then, one thing I want to ask then is, what's your goal with the business? How much do you want to be making? Where in your mind that number is, all right, I've made it. I don't have to get a job if I don't want to.
Yeah. So I would say depends if we're talking like gross or net numbers, but
Well, let's go gross.
okay. So for that, I would say probably like 3,000 to 4,000 a month would be good. I could probably make do off of 2,000, just like scraping by because I've been resourceful doing that. But I would say 3,000 to 4,000 gross, so that way I could have enough for restock and do all that.
And then
That would
net, what would that?
probably be more doable.
And then net, that'll probably be around within your industry.
It's hard to say because there's the sales tax and then the site fees.
Well, we'll ballpark it. I'm not looking for
Yeah.
exact numbers here.
So I would say like if it's 4,000 gross, it would probably be like maybe 2,000 net after restock and inventory, depending on the inflation prices kind of vary a lot with that right now.
Okay. Well, let's just say 50% for
Yeah.
simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
So then, how many sales of? Do you just have one product?
No, there's several products, but the herbal smokable one that I showed you outside of the pre-roll one is the one we've been selling, like a tin of 14 pre-rolls in there of that herbal one. The one I just showed you is the newer one, the loose leaf, because that saves me the labor time of making all of those for people who are willing to do that. That's our top selling product right now, besides the body butters.
Okay. And could you give me the price and margins on those?
Yeah, so the body butter I charge 25 for, and can't remember what I was gonna do for those ones. For the herbal smoking blend, the tins that I've been selling, those have been 15 each.
Okay.
And then, did you want one more product too?
Yeah, like give me your top three selling ones.
Okay, top three. I think the bath salts would probably be the other one. I think, and those run at like $12 a jar.
$12 a jar. Okay. And those ones are the top three. So bath salts, you said bath salts in jars.
Yeah.
The $15 ones, that is the soaps, you said?
The smokable herbs, the tins.
Okay, the tins of herbs, my bad. Okay. By the way, is this backwards or is this the right? Like, are you reading this writing backwards right now? Because for me on the camera, I'm seeing it backwards.
Okay, no, I can read like that one box right there says herbal teas, so I'm reading it
Perfect.
normal.
Okay, because for me the camera is reversed, so
Okay.
if I'm seeing it backwards, I don't know if you see it backwards too. So that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so you got herbal teas, and the $25 one though is the
Body butters.
okay. Body butters, just to educate me on that, is that like
It's a moisturizer. It's just like it's in a jar, so it's a lot thicker than a lotion, even though it'd be used for the same thing because it has the alcohol and water that a lot of people dilute to make it lotion, to make it thinner consistency. So it's just like a concentrate of a lotion, basically.
okay? Okay, so then on your website, can you actually put your website in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just pull it up here just so I can see it while we're on call. Routinesandrituals.com. Okay. Let me just, because I want to get a quick view of that. Routinesandrituals.com. Okay, so then let's see here. So website here, and let me just turn the camera for like temporary sake. So I'm just gonna reverse it. This is me. Perfect. Hello. So I got a new camera and I'm just testing it as like an attachment. So that's
Okay.
here. But let me put it over here just so that I can see it because I am recording part of this call just for myself and in the event people want help. But if you want me to censor anything, I'll let me know what specifically and
Okay.
I'll censor it. But
Yeah. Should be fine.
yeah, like I'm not asking you for your like social security number. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, so shop all, and let me let me share the screen. What am I doing? 1 second. Is it sharing at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at everything here. Why is it saying show screen? Show my screen anyway. There you go. So, all right. So shop all these items here. These are okay. Bath salts, body butter, lip balm recipes.
Mhm. The
Okay.
recipes is kind of like TBD. I was thinking about doing like recipes and food blogging at one point, and then I kind of didn't go into that as much as I thought I was going to. So there's like one singular recipe under that category right now. I might just remove it altogether, honestly.
I like the layout here. The
Mhm.
recipes, I would put it as a well, I would put it as like the far, like you're putting it
Yeah,
here,
farthest one.
just because it's going to be confusing with the products that people are buying.
Yeah, because I
But
was thinking lifestyle wise, it makes sense, but as far as what I've got on there right now, it's mostly skincare kind of lifestyle stuff rather than kitchen lifestyle.
mhm. But I really like the layout. I would so where I'm looking at this. So I've helped companies and even built the companies out myself where I have built a cult following around the products I'm selling. And so I don't have to run ads. I don't have to go viral. I don't have to like mass sell every single thing to get the right people to come in and buy my products forever. And so I'm very meticulous with how I lay everything out so that just like that one nurse that bought from you frequently, the big thing that I'm looking for is like how can I find those people again and work the whole landscape out so that those type of people, the second they come in, they immediately become long-term buyers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I look at it is everything backwards leading up towards the content itself. And
Okay.
so, or even like the product, if I want to go even further back. But the way I'm looking at everything here is when like how can I what are all the touch points? What are all the stages of the journey that the person goes through to eventually give me their dollar?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to get the person onto the website here and I got them onto the website, how can I ensure that it's easy for them to get them towards the purchasing stages?
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at here is I really like the front page headline here and the shop all section. So let's check that here. Perfect. Lip balm, all that stuff here. I like the sections here. I would add in pictures of the different boxes here. So I would have a
Okay.
box or I would have a box that says like bath products. I would have boxes here that says body wash or body lotion products, lip products, herbal blends, just so that it's almost like you are entering a store and they're like, "Hi, welcome to the store. Would you are you looking for these things, or these things?" And
Yeah.
they're the ones guiding the process for you. If I'm sure you've experienced this a few times yourself, when you go into a store and you don't know what the code of conduct is, and it's almost like paralyzing to some degree when you
Mhm.
go in and you default with the no, I'm just looking around. So the looking around thing is first for you to find your almost safe space in a way because you don't know what the proper conduct is. Similar to like when you're going to a party, you don't know what the right way of communicating to people is. You don't know how you should be composing yourself, especially in an environment that you don't know. And so the way around this, and for people to
feel safe when they come to your website for the very first time is to establish the journey for them.
Mhm.
And so in the very beginning, I would keep it very simple and our impact, not bad. Okay. So the first thing is similar to how you did it here.
Yeah.
Is this Shopify, WordPress,
This is Wix.
Wix? Okay. So I would have the big button here for shop all, like you just had here, but underneath it, I would just have four big ones of
Okay.
bath, body, lip, and herbal.
Okay. I think with Kyla, I talked about like that bottom strip right under there. She said it kind of effectively does the same thing, and because it's supposed to be like a really simple brand for the most part to not like busy the screen, she just kind of said like that essential strip you're looking at would
Hmm.
essentially do the same thing there with that for what I'm going for.
Yeah, we're saying the same. We're saying the same thing pretty much. The
Okay.
idea behind it is that you don't want to visually confuse them the second they see the page, and so the
Yeah.
simpler you go very simple in the very beginning, like you're doing here, and then you can get away with being a bit more and more complex the more you scroll down, like I'm doing here. And
Okay.
so that's where I'm saying, like in the beginning, just those pictures itself, we're saying the same thing, pretty
Mhm.
much. My way of looking at it is like she said before, like that is perfect, but I would have the products as pictures for those buttons because visually I don't know what the herbal blends look like, I don't know what lips look like and all that stuff, and so that's where I'm looking at everything here. But let's just hypothetically click on one. Perfect. And let's check a quick view, and you have different sizes.
Yeah, so like you see the little tube next to it, that's like a single use one versus you can use the jar multiple times.
How often are people buying jars versus tubes?
It really varies. Like a lot of people first trying it out, if they're skeptical, they'll buy the tube. But there are people who are just like, oh, I'll just buy the jar. Like they just know they already like salts, so they're like, okay, I'll use it and they'll just buy that one straight up.
Okay.
It's kind of 50-50, honestly. Like they both sell pretty decently.
Okay. That's good then. So then that's all good. And do you notice the people that are buying tubes that eventually switch to the jars?
So I would know at this next event I go to because it's at the same location as the last event I went to. Once I go to that, I'll be able to see if there's the same people coming, if they end up buying the bigger one next time or not.
Okay. All good, all good. So then let's check this out here. Same thing. And okay, so different colors, different one time purchase, 8 ounce, travel size. What does the travel size look like?
So it looks identical to the big one. It's just a smaller jar.
Okay, so I would add a picture where I'm
Yeah,
seeing
I gotta
both.
add one for that still.
Because where I'm looking at it is there are going to be people who come in and they've never tried your product before and they don't know if the product is good. And I'm not saying the product isn't good, but I'm saying like for someone coming in, they don't know what the experience is like. And so that's why you'll have people default to the smaller
Yeah.
sizes versus the bigger ones. And so if do you feel that the customers are like are frugal with their purchasing? Do you think they're very
A
money
little bit.
sensitive?
I think a little bit because a lot of the people like because it's so plant based and no chemicals in all the products, a lot of the people may have had health issues, so they may have hospital bills or stuff like that that they're trying to put their money towards, so they need something in an affordable price point, but they're willing to spend a little bit more for their health. Like with the $25 jar, it's not the cheapest.
Right.
They're willing to spend that, but anything I think once I start getting into like the $28 range, that's when people start going, that's a little too much. So I try to keep it in that area where it's like still making money, but still affordable for the consumer.
Okay. So I'll I'll start working backwards, okay?
Okay.
And the way that I'm going to lay this out is assuming the worst case scenario, which is the customers are very stingy and they're very price sensitive
Mhm.
and they want to try to find the best deal possible. So I figured this out for myself. I built a t-shirt business. I've built a digital art business with the same structure. I consulted companies in the fitness space, supplements, even t-shirts and retail. And it's the same structure that I apply and I get the same exact results. And it's called price anchoring. And
Okay.
price anchoring, what it is that you people are, if they can't find a way to compare on value, they will compare on price. And so that's where you will get people that will buy the cheapest size at the cheapest price versus the expensive one.
Uh-huh.
Because right now, there's no way of comparing whether or not the product is worth their investment. And so that's why they'll default to the cheaper option. So
Yeah.
the way around this is two ways. The first way, and I want to ask you this to make sure I don't actually go too much into the first option. Are you able to afford, let's say, a third size option for the products?
Probably, I would have to run numbers for it because just inventory wise, things like inflation for certain like individual products just jumped crazy. Like certain things, like one specific essential oil may just be crazy high right now or hard to get, or packaging with the jars and stuff too. That stuff, a lot of people started raising prices for that. So it would depend what the container would be, but ideally, I probably could
So,
afford a third size for just about any product.
okay, so I'll go two scenarios then. So let's say you are able to afford it, and this is the one I recommend for you. So we're gonna go offer structure. So you know how to build great products. So I'm not gonna educate you on building great products because I trust that the products are great. So we're gonna keep that as is. But when it comes to offer structure, price anchoring is like when you're at, you've been to the movies and you see how they're overpricing all their products, all
Yeah.
the popcorn and stuff. But do you notice that the popcorn for large and medium and small are so close to each other?
Yeah.
So the large popcorn is, I don't know what the price is, but it's around the same here. So let's say large is like $10, medium is 9, and small is 8.
Hmm.
And so you're looking at this and going, wow, the small is such a ripoff. Paying
Yeah.
$8 for this size, I might as well get the large.
Hmm.
But the psychology is, I still got you to pay $2 more.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether they think, oh my God, I'm saving money or I'm getting my best bang for your buck. I'm still making you pay more at the end of the day.
Yep.
So the first option, which is what I recommend for you, is find a way to build a third product or third product, a third size for the products. And the way that you would structure it, so let's go through the how I describe it. So I think it was the butters, the product that we just saw, where I said for the pictures have both products together. That was for the butter. Okay, so I have the big one, so that's 8 ounces,
Uh huh.
and the small one that's 3.5 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay, the pricing for each, what were they again?
So the largest 25, and I believe I have the smaller one at 11 right now. I was playing around with the idea of either removing the smaller one, or adding another size, like you're saying, to make it more worthwhile. Because a lot of people do look into the little one, but I had an inventory issue of being able to supply that size jar, so I may have to change that.
So I would do the following here. So there's two ways to go about this, but the pricing is still similar.
Hmm.
So you can either have a middle product. By the way, is this blurry? I'm gonna zoom in.
Not too bad. I can still see everything on there.
There you go. I just want to make sure it's clear for the camera. Perfect. Because I have trouble seeing it sometimes. So I have the middle product, either the amount of ounces closer to 8 ounces,
Hmm.
or closer to 3.5 ounces.
Yeah.
But regardless of which one I choose, I am still going to make the pricing closer to the 8 ounce. So let's say $20 here. So the difference is five here, but the difference here is nine. And
Yeah.
so that's called a price anchor. A price
Okay.
anchor, what that is that people will look at the middle product as a way of determining value from the other products.
Yeah.
So if it's two products, it's very difficult to determine whether or not they're getting their best bang for their buck, and that's why they default to a cheaper option.
Mm.
Versus if you have a middle product priced close to the expensive one, then the idea behind this is that majority of the people purchase these ones,
Yeah.
and it's not worth purchasing this.
Yeah.
And I could go one step further and actually raise the price on the 3.5 one to, let's say, $15.
Mm.
Why? Because they're going to look at this and go, wow, only $10 more, or let's say double the price of this is 7 ounces, and that's $30. And I'm saving $5 with one more ounce. I'm going to buy the 8 ounces.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still got them to pay $25.
Yeah, that's why most people go for that one anyways, because they look like anything I have on the smaller scale, I still have like price per ounce. It's going to be more if you're buying the smaller packaging. So usually they go, well, I might as well get the big one then because I'm getting more for my money. And then they end up buying that one.
And so you pretty much got the point there. So the idea behind it is that you are trying to lead them towards the expensive one because you need the money to pay for additional inventory, to afford more product lines, and to eventually do this full time. And so you're not being evil with this. What you're
No.
doing is that you're giving, you yourself understand that within your products, having the bigger one is the best bang for your buck because you have more of it at a smaller price point. And so you know you're doing the right thing by organizing it this way. You're showcasing visually that it's still worth their price, worth the investment for the expensive one, because if they try to match that price with the smaller ones, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I would recommend having the middle product as an option.
Yeah.
So I would build out a middle product for yourself.
Okay. I
In
think
the,
that's kind of what I'm doing with the smokable blends. I think subconsciously I didn't even realize that because I just showed you I have the tea pack version, and that would basically be the middle product because I have the pre rolled versions, which is the tins, which is the larger one, and then the smaller one I have is like singles of that if people want to try a singular pre roll, kind of like the tube. It's just a single one. People can try it out, and that works too, especially at the outdoor events. People will go smoke it, go, oh, my headache went away, and then come back and be like, I'll buy the whole tin.
yeah,
And those effectively do that exact same thing. So I think that basically is the middle product for that. It's just having that option. Like, well, if you do want a cheaper option, but you have to roll it yourself and that's the labor, and then they go, well, actually, I'll just buy the more expensive one. You already did the work for me.
perfect. You literally got the gist down because
Yeah.
what you're doing for the cheaper one is showing that it's more of a burden for them
Yeah.
than the expensive one. So if they're like, oh, do you have anything cheaper? You're like, yeah, here's a cheaper one, but you got to do all these things yourself. And they're like, okay, fine.
Right?
Yeah. So middle product long term, that's the idea for myself, for the
Yeah.
website especially, because if you're making content, you're getting organic leads from that. People don't have the ability to have a conversation with you, and they're relying on what they're seeing here. And so structuring all that for all the products will allow the people to purchase the bigger one, even if they haven't mentioned before and they don't know if it's going to work. Now, will you get sales of the cheaper one? Of course, but it's on them to realize, wow, it's actually a better bang for my buck to include
Yeah.
the 8 ounces. But this detail that you just mentioned, which was how you could buy the cheaper one, but you got to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
I would have a chart underneath of all the things included in each one. So let me like just take this little shit out here. So if I have like product one, product two, and product three, I would have like, let's say, all the descriptions here, and then like an X, 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 check mark,
Like
check
a
mark.
comparison chart.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So just to showcase what
People are
everything
getting.
exactly, because you're not going to be there on every single time they're on the website to explain the value prop of all those
Yeah.
products. And having on each of the product pages that they're viewing the when they choose the different sizes, I would go the ounces first, and
Okay.
and if they click on, let's say, like I'm just going to do an example. So 6 ounces, 3.5 ounces. I would just have those as the labels, and if there's a way for the new picture to show up when the 3.5 ounce is selected. So, for example, there you go. So I have to restart my camera now. All right, so I'm going to. Oh, wow. Do you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so whatever just happened. All right, so if every time they select the ounces that a new picture shows up, for example, you have one of the tubes, you have the jars. So if I
Yeah.
select the 8 ounce jar, it just says 8 ounces and it shows
Uh-huh.
me a picture of the jar. If I
Yeah.
select 3.5 ounces, it shows me a picture of the tube. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's the big thing on the site, making sure that you have those visuals planned out. And the I just want you to run data from that, because who knows if people are willing to buy a cheaper shipping option, if they're going to accept local
Uh-huh.
pickups, whatever it may be. So I would run data from that. But when it comes to the content, okay? So you got the website down, clear layout, clear structure for how to guide the people throughout the buying journey. When it comes to the content itself, let me just put this camera right here. Whoa! You said you're on Instagram, sometimes TikTok, sometimes Pinterest.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook are the two main ones. Instagram I know how to use more than the other ones. I'll just cross post that to Facebook most of the time. And then Instagram, or not Instagram, Pinterest and TikTok are like the accounts are made, but there's no posts on there.
Okay.
So they're sitting.
So, have you been running the submissions with Kyla?
Probably not.
Okay, no. So that's a different tier. So the way you're working with Kyla in your scenario is how? Is she consulting you? Is she doing stuff for you? Like, what's the relationship there?
It's mostly consulting. Like I'll come to her like, hey, this is where I'm at. Where do you think I should go next? What should I focus on? And she'll like kind of look at the website like you did and be like, okay, this could be better, this, and then I'll have my little to-do list and I'll go ahead and do that, revisit with her, and then see where we go from there.
Perfect. So then, because it's just thinking about like what else to add on to the combo.
Yeah.
That's why. So I look at this big picture. If I'm trying to figure out where my buyers came from, if I'm selling to business owners and founders in the tech space directly, where can I expect to find them the most? Obviously, I'm going to go LinkedIn, for example. I'm going to go LinkedIn. Maybe there's some component where I do YouTube. And then going down the list, what's the least likelihood that I'm like, which platform is the least likely I'm going to find those clients? And so let's say I'm going to go Instagram next, maybe Pinterest, and then maybe TikTok last.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go, when it comes to making content for your scenario, it's looking at who are my buyers? That's the big thing. So going down a list on the commonalities of all my buyers, not just location specifically, even though that helps, but personality, age, demographic, all the details there of every single buyer. And one of those being the nurse example, the reason why I keep bringing that up is because you're going to have a list of people that have bought from you, and then you're going to have a list of people that have bought from you either one time or recurringly.
Okay.
And so when you are segmenting all the customers and you find the most valuable ones, valuable being how much money they have invested into you,
yeah,
then you find the commonalities of them, which is like it could either be desire, but whatever way that you are listing out all the qualities of those customers and you find the commonalities, I keep it to three max because from there, when I am talking about building relationships, not just like sales from my content, but if I'm meeting people one on one and even communicating in my content, it's almost as if I'm communicating to this person here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go in person, for example, because it's the easiest way to apply this. If I find that a new person that I meet at a show has the same qualities checked off as the nurse
Mm-hmm.
friend, then I'm going to do not everything I can, but I'm going to communicate in a way that resonates with that person because I know what words and topics I've chosen to relate to the nurse friend
Mm-hmm.
that eventually built her trust and bought for me. And I'm not saying this in a manipulative sense. I'm saying genuinely looking for your tribe.
Yeah,
So
looking for the patterns. Like as you say that, I'm already thinking of the things that I noticed from the last event. It's a lot of like hippies, holistic people, people with busy lifestyles but want clean products. So moms, families, the decent,
exactly,
like and just
exactly,
kind of grouping like that.
yeah. And so you're going to find a way to determine what are the three main qualities and double down on finding those customers. And if there are people that don't necessarily associate with those, so one of them being a like worst case scenario, like they're very corporate, they try to bring down price, like they want the cheaper option, they're trying to negotiate, you're gonna go like, hey, listen, like I'll recommend you to someone else, like in
Yeah.
the scenario. But the idea is that as your homework is figuring out who these people are and what commonalities they have, and then find those people at the trade shows. But then in the next stage, which is what content platforms to be
Yeah.
making content on. So if you notice, and I'm going to give you the answer, but I'm speaking rhetorically first.
Okay.
If I know, or if I'm looking at the products that I'm selling, what are the ways that they became interested in the products and then bought from them? It wasn't I put the product behind my back and describe the products and the benefits, and they're like, okay, perfect, I'm buying. They still don't know what it
Mm-hmm.
looks like. So I know there's a visual component to it. So which platforms, and rhetorically speaking, all of them, but which platforms have a visual component
Yeah.
as the main value prop? So I'm gonna go Pinterest, and I literally spoke with a client similar niche to you who has a who's making at least like 2,000 orders a week from her social media. So I'm looking at Pinterest, I'm looking at TikTok, and before I get the well, Carla didn't say this kind of like Carla said this about TikTok, like I'm saying big picture. So
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, I'm just gonna go Facebook in this conversation. Maybe YouTube, maybe not actually, but I'm just putting LinkedIn. But I'm not even going to consider LinkedIn, especially early on in your stage. It's not worth my time.
Okay.
But I look at Pinterest as a huge one for you because you're making pictures for their products, and
Yeah.
so I want those pictures showcased in a way that looks very, very clear of not only what the product looks like, but I want to include the setting of the product too. What identity does the person want to feel a part of when they buy my stuff? So what you were
Mm-hmm.
saying before, which was the people that are buying your stuff are often busy professionals and they want maybe a
Yeah.
second to chill, like I'm guessing.
When I was doing the photo, I don't know if you saw that one on there of the lavender farm in the background or the other one that has on a beach. That's kind of the idea there is okay, they're busy. Like I always sell the pineapple one is like, okay, close your eyes, pina colada, you're on the beach. Like you're not you can't afford a vacation right now, but let's just like picture you're in the bath and you're like taking your mental space to go there. And that's I think the same thing you're saying here basically with that.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way I'm showcasing the pictures, so the identity of, let's say, I described this for the other client, pretty much identical to you actually, but the Nantucket lifestyle. almost, or the calm lakeside lifestyle. Like, is that around the direction?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm doing this for simply just to make a point here, but there's obviously a better way to describe the identity. But it's not, and you did this well with the pictures on the website. So this is more so like conversationally what I'm talking about here. But it's not a product with a white background. It's a product with the setting
Yep.
in the background. And so putting a face or putting a picture to the product in the dream setting that they wish to aspire towards. And so
Yep.
if they were to retire from their job or just escape their job for like at least 2 hours or over the weekend and they just want to like take a break, what does that look like with your
Right.
products? And so with your products, it's probably sitting on a porch. It's probably like sitting by the lake. It's probably sitting on a picnic table or at a park, whatever it may be. But coming up with as many pictures and different settings with people especially, that is huge. So what does a setting look like where when they take your products, it's the exact identity that they're getting? And the easiest way to showcase that is the people with your products in the scene, but the other level is the products in the scene. Does that make sense? So I would come up with as many pictures as I could, putting that on Pinterest, and if there's an ability to attach your website,
Mm-hmm.
put your website link there.
Yep.
And I took this from the client I was working with. She has done this, and half her sales come from Pinterest.
Okay.
So because people are trying to make a mood board or whatever it is, and so you want your pictures to be mood board esque
Yeah.
for that person. And so when you have people saving your products on their mood boards, eventually you're going to run into people that want to actually buy the products.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big thing. Instagram. Actually, let's run through TikTok. Actually, so you're making stuff on Instagram, posting on Facebook. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
With TikTok, I am on the same boat as Kyla, where I say it's not really like a platform where you're going to get a lot of sales from it and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean I don't find it useful in the sense that I will use that as a way of testing ideas to validate them before posting on Instagram.
Okay.
So where Instagram and TikTok deviate is TikTok is rewarded on volume and Instagram is rewarded on consistency. And
Mm-hmm.
consistency means the consistency of what you are talking about, what you're showcasing, and what category Instagram placed you in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like TikTok where you get views on anything, talk about anything. Like Instagram nowadays is like a TV network, and so you are your own TV show. And if you look at the History Channel is not deviating towards sports, for example, because then the viewers are going to look at that and go like, wait, hold on, I thought this was a History Channel, and then they're going to tune out. So same approach, where everything that you were discussing, everything that you were showing, is making sure that you are talking about what it is that you do or showcasing everything that you're doing within your niche. So we're gonna go. I don't know exactly what niche. Maybe like soap niche. We're gonna go lipstick niche. We're gonna go body wash niche. Like whatever it may be. But being consistent, not only on the topic, but how often you are posting.
Okay.
That is the big thing, because if you are inconsistent on that, and they're
Uh-huh.
really stingy. I hate Instagram for this, but like it is what it is. Then they will almost be almost like a toxic partner and be like, "Nah, I'm good, thank you. I'm not showing you other people." But the idea
Mm-hmm.
behind it is over the course of 30 days, when you're posting consistently, they're gonna get an idea on who it is that you are and what you do, and then eventually showcase it to the right people.
Okay.
So Instagram, if you're making videos or pictures, it is quality based, especially for videos. Now you can do pictures as well too, but videos on Instagram is quality based.
Okay.
Now with TikTok, that one is unleash hell. Like, go crazy, however you can handle it. That doesn't mean you have to post 10 times a day. What I'm saying is that if you post 1 time a day, 3 times a day, 10 times a day, it doesn't really matter. It's just that's a platform for experimenting for what stuff to post on Instagram.
Okay.
So the whole basis of social media, if you're going to be talking on camera, if it's going to be showcasing the products, one big underlying takeaway is contributing to the conversation.
Mhm.
That's the rule of the game. It's what are you contributing to the conversation? And remember what I was saying before, how you're making, like, you're finding the platforms that your customers are in and you're making content in those platforms. So that's the first level, which is you're making content specifically for those people on those platforms. And if by chance you want to introduce a new platform that majority of your customers aren't in, but you feel like it would be worth it. So the most extreme example, let's say you want to showcase your products on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So on LinkedIn, you know for a fact that your core buyer profile is not on LinkedIn. But if you want to get customers on LinkedIn, you don't communicate the same way that you're communicating with your core audience. You have to change the language.
Mhm.
So, in the extreme sense, if you're speaking on like peace, let's say taking breaks, maybe you are describing the. It sounds so exaggerated. You're describing the ROI of. But the idea behind it is that, like, if I'm talking to a CEO, right, and I'm having a conversation with them on the street and I'm selling candles and I'm selling soap, the way I'm going about it is what is the language that he's communicating and what is he working towards and what's stopping him from getting there. And
Mhm.
if I'm getting to know him more and more and more, I'm going to realize that this guy's a family man and this guy, as much as he wants to build a big business, he wants to spend time with his family and kids. And so you could say how, like, one method could be great gift for your wife. It could be a way to remember to stay grounded when you're in meetings, when you have like a candle or a body wash, like a candle in your office or whatever it may be. But just that's what I'm saying. On different platforms like LinkedIn, you change the
Mhm.
language. But
Oh,
but that's I would only focus on that when you've maxed out here. You could easily just do this and be set for life.
okay.
This is if you want to like challenge yourself. If you're
Okay.
like, hey, listen, like I feel like people would really be interested in this stuff. That's the way to do it. So if I'm selling a software to CEOs, I'm going to be approaching them on LinkedIn and maybe talking about it on YouTube in depth. And
Okay.
but if I want to go on TikTok and talk to people like you, I can't speak the same way as a founder and CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I'm going to have to speak on desire because I'm going from B2B to B2C or D2C.
Yeah.
So it's the same approach. But when it comes to that, I'm looking at pictures, as many pictures as I can post, like I'm currently doing, or like you're currently doing at the moment, on Pinterest with a call to action be the website. Do you have TikTok Shop?
I don't know. I might have it set up on there. If it's one of those like auto setup things, I can't remember if I did that when I built the account.
So the way TikTok Shop works, and this is the scenario that we're running with our client, is that TikTok Shop, the way it works is that they will promote your products for free because you put your products there. And so you will get all the promotion from them to promote your products, especially if you're active on TikTok. The only caveat is that they'll take around like 15 to 20% of revenue. But
Uh,
you are getting free promotion.
yeah.
And so you would price it like you would bump it up 10 to 15% on
Uh,
your TikTok shop.
okay.
But you would mention that if they want the products cheaper to go to your website.
Okay.
So You are still getting sales on TikTok Shop because people are coming to you from the content that you were posting. But if you realize that, yes, I'm getting a bunch of sales there, but how do I get people consistently towards buying from my website? This is the way we figured it out. And it brought her at least 40 grand worth of revenue for her business per week.
Okay.
So we wanted to find a way to capture their email and bring them into an email list. And so, if, for example, there's an ability to add a coupon code on the
Hmm.
TikTok shop, then I would mention that through emailing them, if they want to save more money on their next purchase, to sign up for your email list to get access to coupon codes that are not promoted elsewhere. And what this does is that when you're going and bringing them towards an email list, you have full control of communication with your clients all in one space.
Hmm.
And so what this does is you will discuss whatever it is that you want to be discussing. If you want to build relationships with them, you discuss what you're working on. If you just want to use it for promotion's sake, then you just mention like discount codes available for you, so on and so forth. We got a sale going on. But that email list is so that in the event that all these platforms disappear from the face of the earth, you have people in communication on your email list and you immediately bring them to your website. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that made perfect sense. I was just on my notes earlier this week too. I was like, how do I get more people on email marketing? And I don't even really have that set up either. That was another thing I was going to establish more, but that's perfect for that, honestly.
Yeah, and at the moment right now my screen is frozen, so just like
Okay.
pretend that I'm not making that very stern face pose right now. So let me just cancel, open again. Perfect. Okay. So the last thing that I'll give, and then we'll wrap it up here, is where I would advise you making content on. So, like content ideas. So, we established that Pinterest, and I mean, I'm going to go TikTok,
Yeah.
but I'm also going to put Instagram and Facebook. I like the fact that you mentioned that you're posting on Facebook too, because that buyer type is a lot of the time on Facebook too. So
Yeah.
that's
Especially like the older people, like the nurse or people in their like 40s and up, they're like, I don't know about Instagram, but they're on Facebook. So that helps.
but that's
Second.
perfect. And so then majority of your buyers are in that older age group, right?
Somewhat. It is kind of all over the place, mostly females, probably just because of the type of products I'm selling. But it could be anyone from like in their 20s or even kids actually too. I've had people come up and the kids will be like, "Oh my gosh, I love bath bombs, but my mom says I can't use all the chemicals in there, but this looks cute." And then so even little kids will buy too. It's really quite a big range like that, surprisingly.
Yeah, and so that percentage of people, like I'm looking at, like yes, like Insta and Facebook, of course.
Hmm.
TikTok is the way where I could freely experiment and be clear on what it is that I'm showcasing, making sure the technicals are right, the camera quality is good, the audio is good, the visuals are good, what I'm
Okay.
showing. But
Could I outsource for that too? Would that be a good idea or not really cost effective? Like, let's say I wanted to reach out to a content creator, send like a free little kind of sample package box and have them upload just because they could probably do the camera quality, voice quality, all that stuff better in a quicker amount of time than I could because I just have my little like janky phone that I'm working with. That's
so
kind of so I could make it work, but it would probably take me a lot longer to do it on my end.
so there's two ways to go about this. I will obviously say invest in. I mean, you can film on your iPhone, no problem. Like you can easily do that.
Really old though. So like it's like a Google Pixel 3. I'm pretty sure they're on like the 8 or the 10 now, something like that. Like it's pretty old to get a good quality. I can get photos okay, but when I start doing video, that's when it can get a little iffy sometimes.
So I would assume that I would obviously work towards purchasing a better phone. Like that's the big thing. But in the meantime, I would do what I can to post pictures on Pinterest,
Okay.
like I did in the pictures there, and in a
Yeah.
mass volume post pictures there, and
Okay.
directly to the website. But if I want to go after people that would want to promote the products, I would not go after majorly huge UGC creators. I
Mm-hmm.
would go after, so if I'm going like,
Like ordinary people on TikTok, even just like the people who go, "Hey, I read this book," like the very basic ones who just go, "Hey, I tried this, and this is why this is good. Here's the link in the bottom."
pretty much. And so I this was exactly the method that I used to develop an empire in the digital art business in my niche. And so when I was just starting out and I wanted to make a name for myself, I called it the B tier method, which was I went after people influential in the space that were not too famous where I couldn't get a hold of them, but they were famous enough where they said if they said go buy from Liam, there would be a crowd of people going to me.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't go after the C tier people necessarily because then if I'm only going after them, I'm positioning myself as someone that isn't, how do I describe it? It doesn't feel worthy of purchasing from me
Yeah.
if I'm only going after the lower tier people.
Lowest quality tier. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm going after people in the B tier where they have some influence. And again, this is happening. God. Let's try this one more time. And if this is actually closed, then we're gonna have to work with the computer desktop. Oh, is it because no, it didn't die. All right. So while I'm talking here, just imagine there's a visual of the A, B, and C that we're doing here.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna flip this around. So okay, so it's not turning on. So I'm gonna work with the camera that I have here
Okay.
on my laptop. Okay, so it's not working for some reason. All right. Let me I'm just going to talk here until I fix this. But the way I'm figuring this out is the A tier will eventually be jealous of the amount of B tier people promoting my products,
Hmm.
especially if the A tier people are in that same ecosystem. And so if I am trying to get a hold of the A tier people, I'm not going to reach out to them directly. I'm going to make them feel left out by only sharing my products to people underneath them in that space. And it's using that method that eventually the A tier people will come to me and be like, hey, can you promote my stuff? Like, can I promote your stuff?
Okay.
And now this is long term, of course, but it applies short term too, depending on how quickly you find the UGC creators. But I would be careful with paying those creators.
Yeah, I was thinking just do product samples because then at least I'm not really. I would probably still be making more money in the case of like my products. The sell point is higher than what it costs to make. So making it and shipping them just that would be a fraction of what it would cost to actually pay them.
And so through that regards, and my God, the camera's not working. I'm literally working with. Let me just turn this off. So that's where I'm specifically working with the creators underneath them and finding a way to contribute to their what they're building towards. So I'm not here looking for an outcome like, hey, promote my stuff. I'm saying I love what you're about. I want to be a part of your mission by sending you some stuff to try out.
Yeah,
So
that's
you're
what I was thinking. And a lot of people, I think, even at the market, I noticed I just had one of those body butter jars open and just having one open and saying, "Hey, do you want to sample this and try how it feels on your skin?" That like makes a huge difference. And I think like 90% of people who tried that ended up buying it. So I think that sample box should be effective that way. Hopefully, if all things go well.
yeah. And so I would position it that way, and you'll be surprised with the amount of people that'll be willing to actually share your stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Is
coming,
there a good place to find UGC creators like that, or is it better to just find them naturally on the timeline, I guess, like on the main page?
So that's going to be pure research on your end. That's
Okay.
going to be people that you find on your For You page, like whatever you just aspiring UGC creators. I look at aspiring UGC creators.
Okay.
So not necessarily established because they're already getting people that are paying them, but I'm looking for accounts, let's say that have like 1,000 followers or even like 2,000, like depending on the follower quality and quantity. If I
Yeah.
feel like that they're being paid to promote the products, then I'm not going to reach out to them. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to find people that are aspiring to, how do I say it? They're aspiring to be influencers in those niches, and you are simply contributing to their mission.
Yep.
I would keep it at that. And
Okay.
I would run with that. But I think this would be worth like coming back next week and going deeper into this too.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I can't work the cameras now for some reason. I'm gonna have to find out what the deal is. But uh, are you cool with me sharing this within the community chat?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I'll. Are you able to show up on Wednesday? Are you Eastern?
I am Eastern time zone, yeah.
Okay, same here. So then, are you able to show up next week then? Because the group calls that I have, Instagram strategies, are the same time as now, which is supposed to be 12 p.m.
Ideally, I should be able to make it. It doesn't look like I have anything, holding me up on my calendar just yet. So if everything goes well and I don't have anything that I have to do at that time, then yeah, I should be able to make the time next week.
Perfect. So then, because this is the type of calls that we have in the groups, and so I go one on one across the people in that group and go over these same situations and scenarios on top of teaching concepts. So the more you show up to those groups, the more in depth like game plans we could run with you and all that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?